Yo guys, what's going on? LifeOfRio here, and I really do hope that everyone had a great Christmas if you celebrate it. So we're going to be talking about the Zarr today, guys, and the Zarr is actually a really fun weapon. Now, it is a grenade launcher, and so as soon as you think grenade launchers, you're going to be comparing it to weapons like the Toncore. So a lot of people talk about it with the Toncore in comparison, so we'll get into that just a little bit later. But the thing is about the Zarr, man, let's point out some positives about this weapon. One, it is super fun to use. The thing is, well, actually, let's be honest. It's super fun for me if I'm using it with Zephyr. So I had to pop out my Zephyr, man, and then just really I'm talking about, this is the most fun I've had in Warframe in probably the last 8 months, which was with the Zarr plus Zephyr. Just having a great time, man. Just, it's just with her mechanics and, flying around with the shield and everything else. It was just super fun. So let me know in the comment section which frame you like to use the Zarr with the most. So other than that, guys, the Zarr is really great. It has amazing CC potential. It clears hordes of enemies, and it's amazing for taking down nullifier bubbles. So let's point out some quick facts about this thing. Do not shoot the Zarr head on at a nullifier bubble, because as you guys seen, I shown in my last video, if you shoot it directly at a nullifier's bubble, you will completely have a high chance of getting wrecked, because the nullifier will bounce the grenade back at you, and then you do not want to get hit in that radius of the Zarr, because it will kill you. So it has happened to me at least 4 times already. So the main thing that you want to do is shoot it at the ground by the nullifier's bubble, and then when you do that, the little cluster of mini grenades are going to go off and then go into multiple shots and then take down the nullifier bubble extremely fast. So it's amazing. So into doing high level content with the Zarr, I've been messing around with it. So the thing is with the Zarr, the initial grenade that you shoot out, the first grenade, if you hit direct contact with that grenade does not do more damage than the Toncore. So I had to, get used to it and go into some end game and just do a lot of testing. The initial base hit on the grenade isn't like the main thing of what you want to focus on. What you want to focus on is just the radial damage of this weapon. So if you shoot right beside the enemy, as you can tell in these videos, I'm going to be shooting at the enemy's feet a lot. That's where you want to shoot, because what you really want is the blast to hit around the enemy, so that the clusters of the mini grenades can go off, and those are going to chain into ridiculous amount of CC. So for each grenade cluster that goes off, it all have its own chance of hitting and proccing its own status chance. So that's where the Zarr weird mechanic comes in, and why it's so good with its own CC. So let's go ahead and look at the build. This is going to be a 4-forma build, guys, and it's actually a pretty fun build with prime cryo rounds in there, which makes it really awesome, because you keep the enemy stun lock in place and they're frozen, and it does a great job with dealing with shields. But for those lucky people out there that have a Zarr Riven mod, congrats to you guys. But this build is actually really good. The thing is about this build, it's taken me into some high level MOT. I would say the highest that I went with this thing was an hour and 17 minutes. But the thing about the Zarr is, guys, for what people compare it to with the Toncore, the Zarr excels well with status chance because it shoots so many clusters of grenades. It does a great amount of damage. Now the thing is, with single target burst damage, the bad thing about the Zarr is that when you shoot that primary shot, the first grenade that you shoot out, when you hit that enemy, if you do direct contact most of the time, and you hit that enemy, the clusters will spread out so far that the rest of them won't, the initial hits of the clusters won't hit the enemy, which will lower your DPS, which by chance, a lot of people say that the Zarr is stronger than the Toncore, it's the Toncore killer, but it's not. In all actuality, listen, if you're gonna say that it does in the semi-locker room, if you do anything in the semi-locker room, that stuff don't make any sense. And then also versus Eximus Ice Shield, the Zarr cannot take it down, so you would need a secondary to take it down. No matter how many shots you shoot at that thing, the Zarr rockets, grenades will not take it down. But in single target burst damage, the Toncore will do primarily more damage because of the spread out of these Zarr mini cluster grenades. So that's a lot of things that I've noticed. So that's why you shoot it at the feet, to try to get as many clusters as you can to hit that target or to stay in range. So if you test it in the semi-locker room, the semi-locker room is going to make it to where like you keep enemies in place all the time, everything's going to go great. But it's not like that when you go into actual gameplay. So if you don't believe me, definitely go out there and check it yourself when you do high-end content. So in all actuality, is the Zarr amazing? Should you get it? Yes, you should. The Zarr is freaking fun. So much fun. But the thing is about me, I don't really use weapons that can kill me a lot in endgame content. And I know a lot of people like to say that, you know, with a super strong weapon, there should be a drawback, especially on the Toncore. Since he can't kill you, it should have self-damage for the amount of damage that you're doing with that weapon, which I can agree with. But in all actuality, if you're going to go into late end game content and don't want to put the team in danger or risk yourself and being in danger, especially since revives will be so important, I personally wouldn't bring the Zarr. Somebody else probably will, because you know, those revives are key to making those runs stay alive. So overall, can it go end game? It can. Will it outdo the Toncore in DPS? Maybe in some instances, if you can get all the cluster grenades to hit on that primary target. If you can hit the first one right by their feet to get the primary damage of the first grenade, and then the clusters go off, and then still get a nice amount of status proc to go through, because in end game status is important. But if you guys did enjoy the video, go ahead and leave a thumbs up, follow the Twitch channel, and all of that, guys. It would all be in the description. I will catch you guys later. Hope that you guys enjoyed it, and please subscribe for more Warframe video. You guys are awesome, man. And like I said, happy holidays to all of you guys.